What up, guys? Sorry, I didn't know it was on Twitch. I had the YouTube one open. Oh, baby. What up, Thesis? What up, Shuyakono? What up, Grizzly? What up, Beast King? Up. What the fuck? I'm gonna turn off sub sounds.
Welcome in, everybody. It's time for the Neo Olympia update show. I'm Agro. I'll be your host today, and this is gonna be a big one. This is a extra thick packet for this update show today. Tons of different updates for a bunch of different game modes. We've got some spicy balance changes that I think a lot of people will be excited about.
Oh,
and
shit.
Got 13
I know they're doing balance
skins to show you guys. 13 of them, and they're all nuts. It's crazy. This is going to be an absolutely amazing update show, so make sure you stick tuned. And let's get to some of those skins right now. We can show you the card arts. We're going to go in depth with a bunch of these later on.
Notes.
But again, 13 of them. So let's get started. We're going to start off with Warmaker Vulcan. This one, it has a cool backstory that I'm going to read in a weird voice later on. Power Surge.
Turn it up.
This one you should be excited about because Suku's got a new look in some ways. Data Dealer Daji. Warmaker Cerberus, one that was teased on Twitter and got a lot of hype for good reason. Prince of Darkness Hades, very cool. Luminous Bastet.
Bro, there's a lot of fucking skins.
Vimana,
Holy
who
shit.
I just cannot wait to see the animations for. Freedom Overload Poseidon. Yeah, we got one of those. Cove Queen Nuwa. One that's been very highly anticipated. A skin for Hunbats. It's HEALER Demon Hunbats. We have Unichrome set to show you.
That skin's gonna be dope. Okay, that skin should be dope
King
too.
Arthur. And one that I'm very excited to show you guys as well. Sashimi Nico Bacchus.
Okay,
so
what the fuck?
Chunky.
What the fuck?
Best way. We've got a lot of good stuff, as if you couldn't tell that by just the card arts. Again, we'll be going more in depth with those a little bit later on. We're also gonna be trying something a little bit new for the skin segment, so we're excited to show you that.
Thank God, maybe it won't take 20 minutes.
Like it. But first, we've got a million different changes coming to any game mode you play at home, and for that, we've got Hindu and Pon standing by.
I wish he wouldn't have turned around and said that, Pon, that it was going to be every single game mode. But we'll find out if it is in the patch notes. It's going to be a bit of an extended one this week, so expect me to talk very quickly. If you really want the nitty-gritty of some of these details, check out the patch notes afterwards, but we'll try and get through as much as we can. Yep. Introducing now the usual Pon. They allowed you on the show naked.
Yeah, it's really weird.
What happened?
Well, I had this thing growing on my face, and it was like making me make weird decisions, and so now I've shaved it, and it's all gone.
So you're saying the balance previously was really good because you had facial hair, and now the balance is going to be bad?
We'll see it when we get to the final God balance.
You guys
final God balance? What the fuck does that mean?
Go with that. Start things off then with some bug fixes, and I'm going to try and go through as
many
of
these as we
can. UI bug fixes, first of all. Fix an issue where God rank leaderboards were not showing on console. Yep. Fix multiple issues where the profile page, where it would behave strangely when receiving private messages or interacting with the friends list. Fix an issue where your worshipper menu would not display accurate stats. Fix an issue where voice indicators would not display when a player was speaking in a match lobby. Fixed issues while with selecting skins in the match lobby. That's UI bug fixes number 1. As you can tell, I'm going quick because this is a lot of stuff to cover this week. Moving on, though, we're going to Neath next, and there's a fix an issue where Neath's ultimate would not clearly display the marked FX and the projectile FX in some situations.
Big fix.
King Arthur. Fix an issue where King Arthur... I mean, I think this one's more important. Fix an issue where King Arthur could cause opponents to become untargetable for the rest of the game.
Yep.
This was actually fixed on the 10th of May, just so you all know before you open play by now.
We hotfixed that, and we haven't seen reports of it since, so it seems like it's fixed. If you run into it, let us know. We'll make sure to get the match lobby information to make sure it's fully fixed.
Go test out King Arthur some more. Sylvanas fix an issue where Wisp's particles FX would replay and persist on gods longer than intended. And the Morrigan fix an issue where the god could cause spectator mode to crash.
We did it.
I've never seen that happen.
Yeah, never. It's not happened once.
So are you sure it's sorted?
We seem pretty confident. There was a pretty good repro for it. That repro has been quashed, so Morgan hopefully fixed.
We'll find out if I'm apologizing in a week's time. And also, we released a build today that we think will fix lobby chat issues. If you are still having problems, let us know. That's what I've got a little note there to mention.
Yes, this one has been tough to fully find and resolve, and so we believe we have it fixed, but if it's not fixed, if you're still experiencing it, let us know so that we can find more information and try and dive deeper into fixing it.
Or do what I do and don't play with people, and then you don't have to talk to them.
There you
Genius.
go.
Just treat everyone in the game like an AI.
Fix Morgan? What?
Does work.
Moving on though to Project
Olympus next up.
Morgan's back in the SPL soon, boys.
Duration of text chat and VGS text on screen from 3 seconds to 10 seconds.
Yeah, you would spend 20 seconds typing your message on console chat, and then it just disappear 3 seconds later. You're like, oh, okay, I spent a lot of time for that.
Oh, I guess it's a console thing because you can't see the chat.
Yeah, it was something that was shortened at some point, and we didn't really fully understand why, and so now we made it one longer just so that people can actually see all the information on screen. It doesn't disappear too fast. Also make sure that people who are spending time typing messages have it actually read by people and it doesn't get missed.
So I can BM people and they've got more chance of seeing it.
Yes.
No, you haven't missed anything. They're going over
Godlike Chess will no longer provide team boosters unless the player owns everything else.
Oh, great.
These chests now have a larger pool of possible exclusive skins. So side note here, Triumphant and Enigma chests will now include all recent God emotes, is what I've got there as well.
Just making sure the chests feel good.
Yeah, there's a couple of mentions of it in social media just recently, so no real surprise to see us looking in that direction.
Yep.
Cucullin is next on this. I'm not going to go too in-depth here because this is a ridiculous amount of text, but what are we doing?
Just a lot of... So, Cucullin was on the list of gods with Xingtian and Naja for a bug fix pass. We recently did Xingtian, and people seem to be enjoying that. Cucullin's next on the list, and so we're addressing some major things, like some audio cues not playing when they should be playing, some animation clunkiness that was happening where you'd cast abilities right in between transforming, and you'd kind of get the animation off, but it'd get interrupted. Now, it makes sure to play all the animations properly, as well as if you are about to transform and you're casting ability, let's say your leap, it will resolve properly, and then you'll transform.
Gotcha.
In the same way that if you're casting something in Berserk form, it'll resolve first, and then you'll de-transform.
And on top of that, we also adjusted some UI changes in this too, just to make it display a little bit better for you guys at home. So read through all that if you want to. I'm not going to go into detail, but we basically gave you everything that's going to be involved there. Nice quality of life stuff for Cucullin.
Yep.
Game mode balance is next up, and we'll start off with Conquest, and a heated one, so to speak, in the enhanced Fire Giant. It's now going to appear at 30 minutes into the game, up from 25 minutes.
Why?
We've also reduced the bonus physical and magical power that Fire Giant gains when it becomes enhanced from 20 to 10. And not only that, in Conquest, the Primal Fury is now going to provide 7% reduced damage from jungle camps and jungle bosses. Fix an issue where the Primal Fury buff was not increasing damage against jungle bosses as much as intended.
Made everything easy again.
So the Primal Fury thing, real quick, that is going to be 7% damage reduction and 7% increased damage to jungle camps.
Correct.
Per everyone.
That Primal Fury is
going to
be
7, next one will be 14.
It's a 14%
and that was largely done to make sure
swing,
the Primal Fury felt impactful.
Right.
The Oni Fury, you had these giant minion pushes, and you could really pressure. Like they had to make a choice between defending Fire Giant or defending their Phoenix.
This is going to be huge for
so we just want to make sure Primal Fury is on par with that.
Now the enhanced Fire Giant as well, that's just going to be pushed back 5 minutes in the enhanced spawning one. So still Fire Giant's there at the usual time, but the enhanced version is just delayed an extra 5 minutes.
If you have a lead going into 25 minutes, you pretty much auto win now, I think.
And like right as you're about to get ready to go take the Fire Giant, you would enhance, and then it would basically stall the game an extra 5 minutes. You want to make sure that teams have an advantage. They've built one early lead. They have the opportunity to go for the Fire Giant and take it, and it was just enhancing too early and becoming too difficult too quickly. At 30 minutes, you'd already have enough items.
Early
that even
game's
if
back,
you're
boys.
Even you can probably actually tackle the enhanced Fire Giant, so you feel comfortable moving that back to 30 minutes. And largely, we wanted to just be careful with these changes because this has been something that the pro scene has been talking about a lot, and overall, it seems like the Fire Giant fights and the trades and the things that go on between it are actually pretty exciting, and teams have been having to adapt to it. But in some cases, it might be too punishing, and so we want to take light steps towards making the Fire Giant a little bit easier to manage. We don't want to go too overboard.
Okay, well that's it for Conquest, but ranked Conquest, we're going to do some changes to, well, ranked play, I guess. Increase the MMR difference between players allowed for duo queue, from 200 to 300 for players below Diamond rank, and from 50 to 100 for players
Finally, too bad everyone's trolling
ranked. So
right
it was 50 before, and now it's going to be a little bit of a broader window. Also fix an issue where players' MMR would change too quickly if their first few matches after a soft reset.
Yep, And so with MMR being visible as well as duo queue coming back, we've actually seen ranked population kind of rise and stay risen. And so with that, one, we can make the duo queue bands a bit bigger, so players are a little bit more forgiving in who you can actually party up with. Players don't get knocked out of your range too quickly.
I hope they fuck
as
with
well
Bum
as
Business.
just in general, we're taking a lot of data that we're getting from people actually being able to see their MMR and make determines of how their match quality is and sending us that feedback.
Well, this is
from that,
cool.
we're also
So
making
far,
some changes to how we handle soft
dude,
resets.
the
We're going
comp
to
scene
continue
is
that
gonna
going
like
forward,
shit's gonna
seeing
change
what issues
for
arise,
late
how
game
make sure
comp play.
players feel like every match is fair, and doing
This is nice. What
tweaks that
the
we
fuck?
can.
Now I can play with
Next
Wraith.
up then is
Carry
Arena,
him easier.
and that's going to be to do with the Minotaur. Obviously, it existed, but did it really do anything? I think that's what the changes are trying to do here, is make it do something. The Minotaur increased health per minute from 20 to 150, and increased physical power from 50 to 125. Also increased the physical power per minute from 0 to 40. Not only that, in Arena, but we're also going to decrease the crowd sound FX volume, finally.
Yep.
Decrease volume on Minotaur spawn and death sounds, and decrease portal ambient noise sound effects volume. Arena, Minotaur change, it's just for quality.
Arena's
Yeah,
the
it
best
was
game
a
mode
thing we
now.
added, and it never
all
felt
go play
threatening that
Arena.
it could attack, which was one of the unique things it could do. Now this is going to be more threatening. If you're trying to tank it the early game, it's going to be a bit less impactful. As it scales, it's actually going to scale with the game better, so that doesn't just become
Arena
something
main,
you
we
just
can
immediately kill.
ink.
Gotcha.
Overall, just changes to make sure that the Minotaur felt like a reasonable objective in the map.
Cool. Next up, jungle practice for all you testers out there. Players queuing together can now pick duplicate gods, so you can both pick Odin. Players now move much faster while in the fountain.
Yep.
Good.
After that, go on.
Oh, that was just like, it's fun to room in the center to get to where you need to go in the map.
Be quicker. It's a test map anyway, right? So it's much easier to get around. Assault, next game mode up. There is no longer a ledge for the fountain, and it now sits flush ground. Players can now walk back onto the fountain, but regen and bind capabilities will still follow the same rules. Is this just to avoid some of the issues that you can get when you're jumping off the ledge?
Yeah,
Because I know there's a few characters that struggle with that sometimes.
Yeah, there was always a few characters that had some issues with it, and it really wasn't until Yorm where like that became to a point where it was like, okay, we largely need to resolve this. And changing how fundamentally players move with verticality is a lot trickier than lowering that assault portal down.
Makes a lot of sense. So Assault, a little bit of a change there for that, but also vital orbs, those healing orbs that are actually on the map.
Dude, imagine
decrease the number of
Smite
orbs that can
Season
spawn on the
7,
map from
there's
6 to 4,
fucking
and
levels
relocated
of
2
map.
of the 4 that remain. All orbs now spawn at 60 seconds, regardless of if any towers are destroyed. And finally, the last thing on the list, for all you Assault mains out there that have been complaining about it, Baron Samedi now counts as a healer.
Oh, wow, that's
Praise be.
crazy.
Yep. Which actually will affect his win rate because he was often not he would be picked and didn't necessarily have to deal with a healer on the other team.
Because he's OP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. And then Vital Orbs, we're continuing our balance adjustment to make sure that those feel fair. They don't feel like they snowball the game too much. We've seen a lot of people have a lot of discussion. Some really like it. Some really dislike how snowball it creates.
Yeah.
And I think there's a middle ground that we're trying to find to make sure that that feels good.
I actually didn't realize it really was every game mode that's getting touched there, is it?
No, it's actually every game mode.
I was like, wait a second.
No,
Okay.
we literally hit every single game mode.
So that's Assault. Moving on to Joust then, adjusted the Bull Demon King so that he continues to move and attack more smoothly. This should make him much harder to kite. We've also increased XP gain from Small Tigers from 50 to 75 XP per tiger.
Ooh, now I can farm Double J even
100 to
harder in
150 for the
1v1s.
entire camp.
What's up, Tally?
And the blue buff camp, Turtles, now use melee attacks.
Yes.
Melee.
Oh, no more
range
ranged
jungle
fucking
camps are
jungle
frustrating
camp.
to fight.
That's crazy.
Melee ones are
It took
more fun
how
to fight.
long for them to
Well,
take
I
it
guess
completely
the
out of
dual
all
stuff is
Smite?
going to be similar, right? I guess.
Duel is similar, but it has some unique stuff to its own right.
Duel. Titans in Duel only now deal 50% damage to enemy players, gods only.
Yep.
They still deal normal damage to minions.
Correct.
So you can
Decrease
actually
Titan
end duel
HP for
games?
Duel only by 25%. Percentage numbers are relative to the normal Joust Titan stats.
Yep.
And inherits these changes from Joust.
The previous ones we
right, so the
discussed.
Bull Demon King and all the camps
Yes.
change as well in Duel.
Yeah, in Duel, there are some situations where you were too easily able to just camp your Titan and then look for like one kill where they were trying to end the game and then hard swing it back the other way. We want to make sure that if the person has a lead and they're really trying to end it, they have a lot more capability to actually end it. Just Titan camping in general getting weaker this patch.
Clash up next. General, the
Duel
blue buff
just
camps
changed
in the
completely?
center of the map, they're the ones between
Here
your
we
towers,
go.
basically.
Clash.
Have been changed to red
Oh,
buff
shit.
camps. These camps now enhance at 10 minutes and not 5 minutes, which it was previously. Jungle monster
Red
bombs
buff
decrease
camps.
base health, protections, and power of all jungle camp buff holders. I actually just think that was just something that was passed along to Clash and that was never updated.
Bro,
No,
this
it
kind of
was
shit
unique
shouldn't
stats,
be
and
in
they
the
got
actual video
really tamed.
stream.
Yeah,
It
like,
should just
you would
be
go,
in
you
the
would go
paper
fight them
notes.
after they enhance,
Nobody
and they might
fucking
solo
cares,
you
dude.
if you weren't
It's
expecting
casual
it.
game mode.
So now they're more reasonable to fight players healers, they're still more difficult once they enhance, but they're just more reasonable.
Bro, I got fucking
and Apophis balance as well on this map. Apophis buff, normal and enhanced. This effect now deals true damage instead of physical damage. Updated the visual effects of this effect, and now restores 0.8% of your maximum health every second. So that's 4% of your HP5, and now restores 0.4% of your maximum mana every second. That's 2% of your MP5.
Yep, we're largely just trying to make sure to resolve all the. Oh, I think we have enhanced.
I didn't say the game modes aren't fun. I said this is kind of shit. It's casual. I should just go into the game and notice these changes.
Clash was really, it had some odd pacing things. Things enhanced really early.
My strategies aren't going to change because there's a fucking different red buff in Clash.
The red buff would disappear, which is a large enabler for players to end the game, take Phoenix objectives, take the Titan at the end. And then Apophis didn't feel like a worthwhile buff to get because you often you would get it and then you'd be so hurt that you wouldn't be able to actually take any advantage and push, which something the Fire Giant kind of solves by allowing you to regen. So you take some damage fighting him, but you'll regen it back. We're just adding that to Apophis to make sure that teams that do have a lead can end. Clash games can definitely stalemate for a very long time.
Alex, that's sick, dude.
Like this.
And the last game mode to be balanced is Siege. Adjusted the Wild Juggernaut so that he continues to move and attack more smoothly. This should make him much harder to kite.
Yeah, you could one-man kite him and then let your team just kind of wail on him and kill him pretty early on.
And that is it for all the game mode changes. We'll now move along to the item balance. Now, item balance this week as well. It's a little bit long-winded, but I'm going to be very quick over it because most of this is MP5 stuff, correct?
Yeah, so a lot of it's MP5 stuff.
Changes.
The few targeted ones we'll talk about more.
Please!
Sure, and we'll start off with one of those targeted ones right now, Shifter's Shield. We've changed the percentage health threshold for its effects. While over 75%, up from 50%, you gain 35 physical power, but while under 75%, it used to be 50%, you gain 35 physical and magical protections.
Bad, man. I don't know.
Why the change?
So this is similar to Blackthorn Hammer, where we found that you largely wanted one stat at a certain point, and then you wanted the other stat way later.
Yeah.
In this case, you want the upfront damage to engage really effectively, either dive in as assassin or dive as a warrior. But then very quickly, when they answer back to your dive, you probably want those protections fast.
That's
you
true.
often have dumped all your abilities. Now you're just trying to kite and get out, or like look for.
I literally hate shifter shit.
Getting the protections quicker will help you more. So why in some situations there'll be a nerf depending on your playstyle.
Yeah.
This is largely a buff for people who are picking up this item who want to engage really hard and then get more protections.
Gotcha. So if the initial engage, it could be pretty good. That's that for Shifter's Shield. Lightblade next on the list. Decreased attack speed from 15% to 10%. Now provides 5 physical power.
Yeah, it matched another item, starter item exactly. And one item tree was more akin to attack speed, where this one is more about attack speed and power and some supplemental stats. And so it's been changed to better represent that tree and help distinguish the trees.
So loses a bit of attack speed to grant the 5 power, so to speak, for the same cost. Okay, that's
Blade
Lightblade. Morningstar now provides 5 MP5, an increased cost from 550 to 600. Is that because of the MP5 increase?
So yes, it's for the MP5 increase. It's also, we expect it to be a bit better of a starter item choice. Now instead of going like tier 2 Transcendence if you're a hunter, or for a jungler you could go Assassin's Blessing and Mace. You might actually want, if maybe you're Bastet who's pretty mana hungry, you might want to go the Assassin's Blessing and this as a start, which is 10 power and 5 MP5, which will really help you stay out. And so it's a bit more powerful, so we had to up the cost a little bit.
Okay, the next up is all the MP5 changes. What's the reason for the MP5 changes first?
So when you add to the base item of a tree, all items above need to be at least the same or higher.
Gotcha.
And the charge Morningstar was 4, which is below the 5, so we had to bump it up. Then now that we bumped it up, the other ones had to come up to match, and then the Hydra's Star and Hydra's Lament tree didn't have any MP5 period, so now since we added MP5 to the base item, they need MP5.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to the world of item trees.
Here we go. Charge Morningstar, increase MP5 from 4 to 7. Transcendence, increase MP5 from 6 to 10. Heartseeker, increase MP5 from 7 to 10. Hydra's Star now provides 7 MP5, and Hydra's Lament now provides 10 MP5. If you want to read more about that, read the patch notes at the end of the show. Thanks very much. On to God Balance. What's the focus in God Balance this week?
So very
I'm on form today.
That was good. That was really
all
quick.
The items?
The goal is targeted adjustments for the top-end characters, as we always do.
Right.
And then the other change is a lot of mage, and specifically mage healer adjustments to make sure that they feel good. A lot of characters had high either mana cost or very low base mana cost that made their abilities feel like they had high mana cost. And so we have a sweeping change through that. And then one other healer is getting more targeted buffs just in general.
Okay, let's begin in the God section then. Achilles first on the list. We're going to decrease the basic attack range from 16 to 12 of his basics. Radiant Glory, decreased power percent buff from 10 to 20% is now going to be 10 to 14%, so a top-end nerf there.
Damn.
And Combat Dodge, decreased physical power scaling from 50% to 40%. 45%, so a 5% reduction there.
Nerfing
3 different
Achilles.
targeted changes towards Achilles.
Yes, so the first one was the basic attacks. The animation just didn't match.
Right.
Earlier on, he had longer kind of stabs, but then over the course of development, he actually got shorter ones. But
What do
the
you
basic
mean
attack range wasn't
it didn't
updated.
match?
That's just an unfair advantage he has above other characters. Characters like Awilix have that very targeted given to them, where he just kind of inherited it from old, like, earlier testing.
Right.
So that's being toned down, which will help players box against him.
Fuck
But the real
Achilles.
changes here
Shit,
are the
God.
Radiant Glory and Combat Dodge. So he was just scaling too high in the late game. I think we've all seen the very powerful Achilles in the unarmored stance with some offensive items, pop Radiant Glory, and then Combat Dodge Hydra's Lament someone for a lot of damage. Lowering the top end power he gets from Radiant Glory and lowering the top end scaling that he gets from Combat Dodge should help mean that players have more opportunity to react against that.
Okay. Achilles down. Next up, Amaterasu. Dazzling offense. We've increased the damage per strike. It was 75 to 275. It's now going to be 95 to 275. So it's just an early game buff here.
Yeah, and it's specifically targeted towards early game training.
Why do they
potential
want
once you hit level
Ama
5.
back in the game?
This ultimate was
Why?
quite potent, but the in terms of CC provided, but the damage for the amount of time you had to invest into it was underwhelming compared to other characters. Either other characters got lower damage off but way quicker, or
Buff
actually
Ama,
higher
but
damage
not
off
buff
quicker.
Nemesis?
And so we're making sure that the early ranks of this feel impactful. If you catch someone out where they can't escape you and you get
stand
to land
Ama,
all
dude.
3 of these, you should be rewarded for that. For
I
the time
hate
investment
Ama.
you're given.
A lot of
Hate
damage
it.
too, if you work it out. If you do land all 3.
I
But yeah,
want-
the time investment,
It's
I
like
get you.
I think it's like 60 to 70 base damage increase if you land all 3, because the math gets a bit weird, but
Sure, as it
around
goes
there.
on. Okay, that's Amaterasu. Aphrodite, one of those healers in question that Pom Pom was mentioning. Kiss, increased movement speed increase from 4 to 20 is now going to be 8 to 20, so an early game, early rank buff for the Kiss. Also increased bonus damage from this. It was 4 to 20, it's now going to be 8 to 20. Once again, buff to Kiss overall in the early ranks. Back off now applies the slow. Sorry, back off now always applies the 25%
Yes,
slow.
the one that you would link to would get slowed. The one that you had would knock back. Now the one you have itself is also going to slow.
Because the slow and a knockback?
Yep,
Okay.
it's pretty good.
And then not just that, but Lovebirds as well. Decrease the cooldown of Lovebirds. That's the heal of Aphrodite. It was 16 to 12 seconds. It's now 12 seconds at all ranks.
Yep.
It's
So
really
when,
strong.
yeah, so when you're
it's
playing the
gonna be
support
a
role,
fucking
you're able to
8-second
support more
cooldown
effectively
when
by
you
having the
CDR.
rank on Kiss do more immediately.
Hello?
You have a higher chance of being able to peel with the additional slow and the knockback, so you have that consistently.
You get one
and the
CDR
cooldown
item
both
early
helps
and
in
you're
terms
good
of
to
the
go.
support role, or if you're going to play mid, having access to a
If you
12
rush
second
CDR
cooldown
in
really
lane,
helps you actually trade and
it's just
clear
up
against
every
enemy
fucking
mages.
5 seconds, dude.
That's it for Aphrodite then. Moving along to
I'm playing
Baron
Afro
Sammy
Jungle.
next
You
up.
smell my
He's
balls.
going to get a bit of a change here. It's only going to be base mana. It's going to go up from 250 to 300. Too low?
Yes, it was too low, and this was somewhat intended when he was first released. He had a lot of utility that he brought with all of his abilities, and since then we've kind of toned down that utility and strength of it to where it's now probably more fair that he can actually cast those as many times as he does out.
Bro,
in the
they're
lane
gonna
phase.
buff
Having
hell.
extra 500 mana just increases how many abilities he can cast, how much
They're
time
gonna
he has
make
being
hell
out to regen
insane.
extra
They're gonna buff
mana.
Baron
So
healing,
this
they're
should
gonna buff
let
all
him
healing.
stay out a
Someone
little bit
complained
longer,
about
be
it.
a bit more free to cast spells.
Okay, next on the list is Bellona. It's going to be a nerf to Bellona this week. Scourge, decreased healing. It was 30 to 50. It's now going to
Damn.
be 25
5
to 35.
less
so nerf
healing?
to all ranks of this. which
Bellona's
is-
dead.
Yep. So outside of King Arthur,
Bellona shit now. 5 less
Bellona
healing.
and Achilles have been really the dominant picks that we've
Trash.
seen in SPL. Bellona has started to rise in ban rate as well as in ranked, but Achilles had shot up way past Bellona. And so while we did a heavier hit to Achilles, we did want to address Bellona just so that she didn't, with Achilles being kind of a main check against her,
Gotcha.
being nerfed, we didn't want to make sure that she just kind of rose way too far up. So she's getting a very slight healing nerf in the early game so that when she's trading with Scourge, when she's fighting maybe the totem, she doesn't get as much healing.
But we're keeping an eye on her anyway, just in case she does continue to take off with Achilles taking those nerfs.
Yep. We're
Okay.
gonna watch it
This
really
nerf
closely.
doesn't do
Kabrakan,
anything.
next on the list, going to get a bit of love this week. Increased base mana per level. It was 34. It's going to 38. But not only that, the Tremor. We're going to decrease the mana cost of Tremor, which is quite important. 15 to 35 to 10 to 30. Early game level 1 Kabrakan's coming back. Is that what I'm seeing
Yeah,
here?
it's a really unique ability, and it was incredibly punishing to cast. Not only was it punishing early on to cast, but later on it kind of outscaled his mana pool in terms of like the percentage. And so giving
a
him
nice
little bit of base mana
change.
will
I don't
also
know how
help,
good he's
make
gonna
sure that
be.
He has a mana pool to sustain tremors.
Changa as well. Next general.
Top
Increased base
favorite.
mana from 290 to 310 and increased base mana per level from 43 to 48. So mana buffs all. Mana
They
love
literally
all
want
Change,
all these healers
as well
to
as
never
Minotaur
go.
Dance increase the damage from 65 to 165. It's now going to be 85 to 185. So a buff to that all over too.
Yep, especially for how much she kind of spams abilities. Her pool was low. This moves her more to the middle of mages, not even towards the
Chunga
top
jungle.
end. And then move
Making a comeback, boys!
Really carefully look to
Let's
see what
go.
ability we wanted to buff for Chang'e, either the 1 or the 3. The 1 we've had multiple iterations on. We feel like it's in a good
No.
position. It feels
Someone
like
called
a fair
Pern.
fight.
I
have
had
some
the
downtime
number
in
one
between to
Chunga
figure out if
jungle
you
in
wanna
ranks.
stay and fight the Chang'e,
Purposely.
or just get to poke you
I had an
for
account
free
where I
all the
only
time.
played Chunga jungle,
So
and my
move
name
on
was
dance is the more,
DJ's Chunga is
offensive
bad.
move. You have to get closer to your enemies. This one we're going to give a bit of base damage on, and this I believe takes about 1 auto attack away from needing to clear the wave, so it should help her wave clear as well.
Okay, so it may help a little bit more there. Next up is Hell. Hell, increased base mana. Sorry, base health. I was going to say
There it
mana.
is.
It's been mana all day. So
Hell,
base
increased
health
healing
on
by
Hell from
500%.
380 to 410.
Hell,
So a little bit
invulnerable
healthy in
when
the early
tuned.
game. But not only that, decay and restoration. Decreased mana cost from 70 to 90 is now going to be 55 to 75 mana reductions.
That's a
anyways.
lot of
Yeah,
fucking
this is
mana reduction.
she has to kind of be forward to get damage off, and that makes her very vulnerable. It should be a weak point of her kit.
Bro,
but it was
I'm about to go
too weak. She
fucking,
had a little bit too low base health.
Brawlers
in addition,
and
just decay and restoration. These are
Toxic
things
Blade
you
on
spam
every
all the time.
jungler.
The mana drain was just really, really intense there. And
Let's
so
see you heal through
specifically
that,
if you're going to be
bitch.
throwing those out for poke all the time. We're letting you do that a bit more often.
Another healer on the cards, or a pseudo one, I should say, is Horace. A couple of changes here, mainly bug fixes by the looks of it. Updraft, fix an issue where the follow-up basic attack was benefiting from lifesteal more than intended. Also fix an issue where the follow-up basic attack was not slowing. Also fix an issue where this ability couldn't crit when the projectile reaches maximum range. It could crit?
Yeah, it was... Essentially, it was reducing his
It's like, wait, what the fuck?
It was reducing his crit chance while he was firing, and so once the projectile reached like the max range, he technically had stopped firing the device, and so it had like a little bit of lifetime left on the projectile, and that could crit.
Okay. Fracture also improved audio feedback for the follow-up hit. Protector's Surge, the third ability, the heal. This ability now properly classified as a leap.
You can Wheelix pull it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Before?
Nope.
I didn't know
No, because it's just a fucking
more you know.
glide,
Also fix an
bro.
issue where the ability would sometimes fail to heal. I did experience that quite a bit. And to the skies, fix an issue where teleported allies would sometimes not receive a shield.
Yes, so no balance changes. We're watching really closely. People have a lot to learn with the ultimate.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people experience the I pop the ult, no one comes with me. So people are still kind of learning him.
No
and
one comes
overall,
with
these
you
bug
'cause your
fixes
ults are
more
shit.
buffs than nerfs, making
I
sure
see
you
my
heal
teammate about the
consistently,
ult.
heal
I'm like, these
consistently, as
fuckers are
well
gonna
as
put me in the
slow
worst
on
spot
the,
ever. I
range-based
don't
attack
take it.
from
I
one.
watch.
Those
Lands
are
right in
really
front of
big
everybody
changes
and
for
dies.
him, and so we want to see how those affect him first before making any targeted balance adjustments.
No, I can completely understand that. So many balance changes there that are important. So King Arthur, next up then. Nerfs? Yeah?
Nerfs and some feedback for fighting against him.
I was going to punch you if you said buffs then. I swear, I'm just sick of him. King Arthur, Surfast, reduces bonus energy generation from 25% per stack to 20%, 80% down from 100% at maximum stacks.
Yes.
And Excalibur's Fury, Sundering Strike. The sword now glows a distinct color when at 35
Oh,
and
that's
80
dope.
energy. That's nice.
cool.
I like that one.
Yes, so
That's
the
cool.
first one is very targeted towards specifically like
Arthur.
Conquest solo lane slap fights. When you can constantly stay engaged,
Yeah.
you're just gaining a huge amount of energy. In other modes, he has to kind of dip in and dip out, so his energy gain is a bit more reasonable. This is why you're seeing the 11, 12-second ults. Is you're seeing largely the energy generation just going nuts, and so toning that down means that the top end there is going to be a bit better. The second thing is Excalibur's Fury. We normally don't give players a way to know if a player has their ultimate up or not.
Sure.
But King Arthur's a rule breaker. He has.
Well, he's got 2 ults technically, right? That's probably one of the
he has
reasons for it.
2 ultimates. He has
mean,
an
you
energy
know
meter. He
what
has
his ults
lock-on
are.
basic attacks that charge you forward. He works in a completely different way from other characters. It's not surprising that he might need a slightly different rule for how much feedback you have in regards to.
So who the fuck is
knowing
playing
if
Arthur? It's just slow.
The ultimate's ready.
Speed it up,
so you can see
pal.
right there, the sword kind of changed color to indicate the 35.
What, you can barely
It's
see
a
the
very
difference.
slight
What the
change,
fuck?
but because that one's less important than
Glow
the 81.
my ass.
Wait till he gets the 80.
This 81 better be
just
bright
build that
fucking
up.
blue
And
and
personally, I like
shiny.
this
as
Wait, how are
fucking
you doing this
diamond.
at the same time as being on the show?
I'm really good. The beard was just holding me back.
Oh, the beard's doing it. That's what you should have said, Morgan.
Okay,
There
we
you
got
go.
red.
Oh, it's
Look
glowing.
look how cool that red sword is.
Yeah, it looks more dangerous now.
Yep, and it will hit you with the ultimate.
Awesome. And then when it goes away, you'll see the sword change color again.
Yep, but he has infinite energy on, so he's still above.
Oh my god, that beard is stupid. Never mind.
There you go.
Hey, and it goes back to a normal glow. So get used to seeing the sword change color. You'll get used to that as time goes
Man,
on.
I
I'm
always
sure.
assume
That's King
Arthur's ults
Arthur.
up
We'll move
anyway,
on
so it
now
doesn't matter.
to his best old friend, Merlin. And we're going to look at Merlin next.
Yes. So Merlin is a bit different than King Arthur. Where King Arthur has dropped a lot in stats since then, so we're making very targeted adjustments towards like his top end soul lane potential and giving better feedback. He's just getting straight up nerfs. He's been really high on the ban rate along with him, so he's getting very targeted adjustments towards actually his damage output.
Okay, here we go with the Merlin changes then. Obviously, at the moment, Radiate at the bottom, decrease damage scaling from 35% to 30% per tick. Not only that, Frostbolt decreased base damage of this ability. It was 60 to 220. It's now going to be 60 to 200, so late game nerf as that gets leveled up. And Dragonfire, I think this one's a big one here. The protection reduction on this ability now only applies to enemy gods and will not affect minions. So that's a jungle nerf more than anything else, right?
So he could shred Fire Giant and Gold Fury significantly more than other characters can, and so like that combined with like his high objective damage just in general, like the fire stance damage.
They came through and asked us for like our opinion on Merlin when we were in the studio. So
Gold Furies and gave him
a lot of this stuff is things that everyone told them that we believe was wrong.
Some of the ability for him to abuse that and get like a lead more than other characters would.
Okay, well, we'll see how that works out for Merlin. See some more changes there. But moving on to Poseidon up next, and Poseidon's going to get some mana love. Tidal Surge decreased mana cost from 60 to 100. It's now going to be 60 to 80. It's a big change there. And Whirlpool decreased mana cost as well. 60 to 100 is now going to be 60 to 80.
Yes.
Poseidon might not need to like invest so much in MP5 anymore.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you look at it, it's like, man, 2 abilities that cost 100 mana is really high, and so like late game he really drained through his mana pool. This should make him more reasonable compared to other mages.
Next up on the list is Set. How's Set been doing, by the way?
People are not particularly good with him.
Is that what you're roasting the community officer? Go ahead.
He's a character that functions differently. There's a lot of things about his kit that like people have had to work through in theory craft. A lot of people wanted to stack attack speed at the start, but since he gets free attack speed, you want to go power instead. And so watching people work through that, I think that's more of just a learning curve thing.
So is he good or is he bad?
I think he's pretty close if you get good with him.
Right.
But we are making some fixes, and we have a very slight buff. Because we think the fixes overall are going to improve players' usability with him. We think he needs a buff in his early game specifically when he chooses to engage, just to make sure that he can compete against other assassins and other gank potential.
What the fuck is he about to do?
We're going to watch him really closely, especially I think he's another one of those King Arthur cases where as players really get familiar with him,
he's going to be fucking broken. He is broken.
The old school circuit for you guys at home. Set then, Skewer, fix an issue where the slow from this ability wasn't consistently being counted as a slow. The slow from Skewer should now properly count.
I hate that people think Set isn't
future
fucking good.
Should no longer be able to slow targets who are CC immune.
So both benefited and hurt him.
And then Spawn of Set. Spawns are now visible to Set through walls, which is a good change there. Sandstorm, the targeter for selecting a spawn is now more accurate.
There, that's actually what everyone's been complaining about. I agree. I like knowing exactly where it is.
And Kingslayer, increase the healing from this from 30 to 90. It's now going to be 45 to 105.
Yep, so that's the targeted actual
the
buff
healing
for him.
of fucking all.
His early game, he didn't feel like he had the payoff for actually getting a whole bunch of those marks off. The scaling later on takes kind of care of that. The healing feels very impactful late game. So that's why we wanted to focus on just the base amount so that he could actually dive more aggressively.
Bro, the amount of healing you have potential to give you fight in a
and then
group is
we move on to the last change, which I've been dreading this entire time. So I don't know how you guys at home are going to take it, honestly, because I can't decide either.
This is one of the things that we had a lot of discussion internally about.
I've heard a lot of arguments in the office over this one.
Yes.
So I don't know. Here we go, boys and girls. You ready? Xbalanque. His ult is not going to stun anymore.
Correct.
That's pretty much all you need to know. I mean, the FX are getting changed as well, I believe. The audio effects to allow for that, but it's still going to make the darkness. You're still going to get the range. It's just not going to have the stun mechanic.
Yes, so there's a lot to go into here. I'm going to try and keep it brief. Xbalanque has a very unique ultimate for a hunter.
You just keep
going?
Really
have like very immediate team fight impact ones.
Bro, it's been 7 years of this shit. I'm not going to be able to just stop.
And they had to just deal with being confused.
I automatically fucking stop.
It's one of those things that like, oh, if you're really good at the game, you can just kind of ignore it. We see this at the very top end of the game where pro players losing that vision really hinders their ability to make decision making, and it causes team fights to really go in the favor of the Xbalanque team. And so we were looking at this ability, and there's very few ways to tweak it, really, even. Like, you can make it a slightly bigger in range, but it creates some weirdness.
Right.
And so what we decided to go for was removing the stun on this ability. It's one of those things where in Smite you generally understand things that are happening to you, right? Like, if you get Circuit poisoned and you die and you see an explosion, you see the explosion effect go to other characters, you can kind of understand what the ability did, even if you don't know the exact things that's like true damage. This was one of those things where if you didn't explicitly read the text of Xbalanque, you really weren't going to figure this out on your own.
That's true.
Like, if you weren't actually reading it, how are you going to learn to stop and stop moving specifically right then when that timer was going down. We discussed a lot of ways to do that effects treatment. Like we were even thinking like a red light, green light scenario where literally it flashed red, but even then you would have to see it once and then understand that that red light meant stop.
Right.
And even then, that might not happen. And so it was just one of those things where it was largely confusing.
Bro, I'm telling you now, it's gonna take me months to not automatically stop unless that whole queue is gone.
Your headphones.
If they remove the whole spinning timer and the sound completely, I might be able to get used to it pretty quick.
Adjusting him where he needed to be adjusted because he's up at the very top end. This is one way we could adjust him while also reducing, especially incoming player frustration with the character. Outside of that, it also means that if you are blinded and you see a Kraken right underneath you, before you often have to just disengage and fight because if that Kraken appeared right underneath you and you had to burn your
The stun is massive. Just the threat of the stun was massive. Like I'm literally just gonna W key through the fucking Xbalanque now. No one Xbalanque is gonna fall off real hard off this.
Now you can be a bit more forward and react to things that are happening underneath you, which opens
up. Like Xbalanque as a god isn't shit, but the super like OP-ness of the ult is literally gone.
Want to stand still every
single
time this goes off, and I
shouldn't.
I have the muscle memory of just the quick let go W, and like a lot of people have back bound to their mouse.
Here's what you guys aren't understanding. It's the threat of the stun. You have to stop moving, which means if you're chasing somebody, you know they're going to get away. If someone's chasing you, you know they're going to catch you. So you play around the fact that you will get stunned if something goes wrong.
Catch up on all this after the show as well. The full notes will be available.
You're not going to have to play around that anymore.
Too quick for you.
Shit's going to come up, you're just going to run away.
To disappear once more. He's going to go and get his beard back. Let's go back to Ryan. What have you got for us this week, Ryan?
Is it all skins now?
First of all, Graham, I want to thank you.
I expected more, to be honest.
Xbalanque change because
where's my Assassin's Blessing buff?
Just get an X-Ball ulted, press my auto run key, and relax as I walk back to lane. Not have to worry about getting stunned. But to talk about some of the amazing skins, I mean, we previewed them earlier on, 13 of them here for you today, and give you some info on the battle pass that they're coming in. Got a couple people joining me here on the casual side. We got Tina as always, but also John and Tim to go over some of these guys. I mean,
13 skins,
this theme here for the battle pass, Neo Olympia, it's a kind of cyberpunk meets Smite. When this was kind of concepted, I imagine the art team was all very excited about this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, so anything cyberpunk and kind of futuristic sci-fi is definitely up my alley. And with Smite being such a fantasy-based game, like this was a really refreshing theme to kind of explore.
Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing so far. And just like our previous battle pass structures, there'll be a free and a paid track that'll both have rewards. So don't worry about that for you guys at home. So let's get into it. Let's get into Warmaker Vulcan right off the bat here, and we're gonna try something a little bit different. We're not gonna be listening to the voice packs at the end. Instead, we've got a little bit of a preview here for you at the very beginning, and then we'll go in and look at the abilities. So take a look at Warmaker Vulcan.
Bro, it should be pre-recorded.
I was cast out from paradise by the gods, only to end up with them in this hellhole.
I can't hear anything.
They took everything from me, and now I am here to take everything from them, piece by piece. When I got my latest upgrade, they installed an off button somewhere. I still haven't been able to find it.
All right, so hopefully you guys were able to hear it. We couldn't hear it on our end, but I'm sure it sounded sweet, as always. So Warmaker Vulcan, this is kind of a protagonist here in the Neo Olympia Smite universe. Tina, you're usually my go-to for the lore behind the skins.
Oh shit.
Yes.
I mean, that's right, like beefy.
I've written this a long time ago. I'm sorry. I was actually gone for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
So when
I've got a little thing here and I can read it.
Oh, awesome. Yes, please jog my memory. Jog my memory.
Okay. Once a member of an elite society,
Jesus Christ.
he was maimed and cast out. He now looks with anger and resentment up to his former home and builds dangerous tech to strike back and tear down the elites.
Yes. That is exactly what I was.
Yeah. Oh, I got all that.
Yeah.
From
that wasn't bad for fucking
so John
Agro's voice.
His team.
That's actually pretty good. I expected it to be really high
design
pitch.
the skins or come up with the skins. They usually like have a little backstory that they want the skins to like, especially for the battle pass because it's always like in theme or something or close to theme. So they always try and come up with interesting backstories for each of the skins to interact and stuff.
The abilities look very basic. The skin is nothing crazy.
I love it. The turret, the new look
turret looks cool. Turret's the only cool part of the skin.
Brand new turret.
Big jet backpack things.
Backfire looks great as well. I mean, this it definitely is. The new sort of cyberpunk theme certainly fits here. Tim, when we're talking about different, I mean, it's slightly different models here for the animations and that kind of stuff. What, how much harder is that for your team on the rigging side?
I think it really depends on how, I guess, complex we're getting here. But for example, for this turret here, new rig, right? So we've never had a turret that's had little mobile legs. So having the opportunity to kind of redesign a little bit opens up more opportunities for animation and get some more creativity there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing looks pretty great. I do. I actually, it says here we have a VXG, so hopefully we can get back in and take a look at that one still, because don't want to miss out on those extra special animations, especially when they're this cool.
Now you can fly around as Vulcan. So
I like that. My favorite VXGs
you actually tilt
when
too.
they're able to be mobilized like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Tilt on the axis. That's dope.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I know my my favorite VXG right now is the Robin skin, where he just kind of like bounces around and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This definitely feels very similar. Man, that is sweet.
Really cool.
Absolutely love that here on Warmaker Vulcan. Okay, next up. We have Power Surge Awilix. This one is one that I think a lot of people have been kind of excited about, this idea of, instead of riding Suku, she has an actual bike. But I mean, that's a huge change for your side on the animation, right?
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, basically nothing could be transferred or saved. So we just, from the ground up, you know, Sean and a group of the animators kind of took this and just ran with it. It was really awesome, kind of making her work, but on a bike, like hover bike level.
Well, let's take a look at it in game and hear a bit of the voice pack, and then we'll get into the abilities.
Dead or alive, your bounty is mine. We're gonna take down the creator of the most dangerous weapons in history. Business as usual. Don't worry, I may like bikes, but I'm no psychopath.
Nice.
Holy fuck.
In some ways. But dude, that bike looks so
No, it's so good. Yeah.
And
it
high res.
It's
good. The colors are good.
I mean,
This is definitely one of those cool abilities where, because she can stay on Suku for as long as she wants, so you know, having the bike just kind of really amplifies that.
Absolutely.
And she can throw the bike at people?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta, there it goes on its own. It's on its own, you charge it out.
I like this.
That is too cool, man.
It's simple, but it looks good.
I mean, John kind of touched on the animation end, but is that a big change for you guys on rigging as well, to change from a Jaguar to a bike?
It is. It's actually probably a little simpler for us. I didn't really see the rig for this one, but I imagine it probably only had a handful of controls compared to, say, the cat or quadruped in general is requiring a full body, you know, all the limbs and spine bones and things of that nature. So something like this is a little simpler. So.
I mean, it turned out absolutely amazing. I love the color scheme as well. A little bit more teal to go alongside the orange, I think is a great look, and can't wait to be zooming around. And if you're on the top end of the NA ranked scene, some Bumba's Mask Awilix riding around on a bike is something that I am somewhat looking forward to, I suppose, in some ways. All right, next up, it's Data Dealer Dodgy. This one, again, part of the Battle Pass. This is a recolor of the Cyberfox Dodgy
this doesn't look any different from the other
as
shit.
you should know and love, personally, my favorite Dodgy skin, this one was just
Bro, the problem
cooler,
with these white
sleek,
skins is you get targeted so much harder in team fights.
We do have a quick look at this one in game.
You stand out too much. The Nem has 2 white skins. If you play them, you die first every time.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if we had the little video or not. We do not, but that's okay because we already know what the voice pack sounds like. This one just really fits. It's not a whole new concept, but it just fits so well into the
theme. Yeah, and that's why we added it. Yep.
Makes sense. If you aren't familiar, then make sure you pick up the Battle Pass because you're going to love it. Trust me. All right, Warmaker Cerberus. This one is the cream of the crop here, I'd say, on this Battle Pass. I can see everyone on the set getting more and more excited to talk about this one. I mean, this is just... I don't even know. Let's just go in and take a listen to the voice pack and get our first look at it.
The skin itself looks nuts.
It's a lot to digest, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Operation CRBRS states that Olympus is the enemy. Directive is to seek and destroy. Protocol tells me I must exterminate on sight. Why did the robot marry his fiancée? because he could not resist or laughing my ass off.
Laughing my ass off.
Oh my gosh.
The voice, everything I wanted it to be.
What the
Okay, so the
fuck
guy who
is
voices
this
this,
skin?
who did this, he actually sent in the voice recording just like that.
Really?
Like the audition.
Oh,
The audition
wow.
was like that. I was like, this guy
That's next
legit
level.
sounds like a robot. We don't even need to add effects. But we did. I mean, we did. But
Sure.
he was so good.
And it's exactly
Holy
what this skin
fuck,
needed
this
because
skin looks
it is
sick.
already
Look at
so
his
cool, but that
abilities,
really
bro.
does just take it to
To the next level, right?
Man, I mean, this is literally just a tank. That's all.
His abilities
that's all
look sick.
that is going on right here. He's a tank. Cerberus tank.
Yeah, this skin was really, really exciting to work on. Whenever the concept first came through, I knew right away I wanted
It too looks
this.
dope.
I'm a big fan of the hard-weighted rigging style because you can get crazy creative with it. You can.
It does look
get
weird
all
to see him
mechanical
move like this and be
low
like
body and
stiff.
transform me with this guy. And
Oh, his VXG. That's
That
right.
back
Yeah,
animation
it's
is
just-
nuts.
Yeah, the
Oh,
back
wait, no, that's the back,
animation
that's the
is
back.
fantastic.
Yeah.
One of Louis, one of our enemies, just has like a strong affinity for like mechanical stuff, and it just
Ooh.
the sound, the audio cues, everything
So
is just the whole
good.
package just feels really good.
And then this is the VXG as well,
Yeah.
another transformative one. He turns into a more mobile tank.
Tank.
This is
tank.
Yeah, mobile
a bit
tank.
more aerodynamic.
Now you can
Right,
cruise
yeah,
around
yeah.
too.
Just
Hello?
insane. I mean, this is nuts. He literally is a little tank, and then
Yeah.
He looks like a little pupper.
and then
in
he
a
gets
tank.
like, and then it transforms into a bigger tank, and it's
Yeah.
even scarier.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It really got it all. Just that is just awesome. The recall as well. On top of that, again, Warmaker
skins are
Cerberus,
cool 'cause
part
they're
of
different.
The Neo.
I'm glad
Olympia
Hi-Rez is
Battle
doing
Pass.
some
I
shit
imagine
that's
if it's looking this
outside of
cool,
the
it's got to
basic
be
bitch shit we've
the
been
final
seeing.
reward. I imagine.
It is the
for-
final reward
Okay. Yeah.
of the battle pass.
Makes
correct.
sense, man. Just too good for that skin. Excellent stuff. All right, so we've got some more skins to show you guys, but we're gonna take a quick break on those to go and toss it over to Hindu and Isaiah to be talking about some community news. They're gonna tackle some skins and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we'll throw it over to them now.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Yeah, we're just kind of waiting for you guys in chat to calm down after that skin, because the quality of the skins, Isaiah, is getting crazy these days.
Absolute unit. That Cerberus skin.
Insane.
Ridiculous.
Well, that's one of the skins. Anyway, community section real quick with Isaiah. How's it going, first of all?
It's going well. How about you, Miniman?
I'm doing okay. I don't know. I've not read what people have said about the patch notes yet, so we'll find out.
Right,
What about
yeah,
you?
We'll see.
You
Oh,
seen
yeah,
it?
I'm doing well. I haven't seen anything. I know chat's been reacting. You know, there's some mixed opinions about the Shivalake change, but we'll see how it goes.
Wouldn't be a patch if there wasn't. Anyway, then, community news
Isaiah's
this
a good
weekend.
dude.
What's going on?
This weekend, win 3 games, earn an Enigma chest. It's that easy.
Oh, simple.
Yep. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for a total of up to 3 possible Enigma chests.
So play this weekend and get yourself some Enigma chests. But not only that, we've got the Odyssey skin competition,
Yeah,
right?
so we ran through the Odyssey 2019
Yeah.
voting bracket. Emir and Baron Samdi ended up as the final winners.
I didn't rig that, by the way, but it fell how I wanted it.
Bro,
to, for the
that's
most
awesome.
part.
why?
Yeah,
Bro,
play.
I hate
We actually
both
had
of
an
them,
internal
dude.
bracket, and Baron and Emir ended up being a lot of people's final 2. But the team is working hard. They are almost done with the
Hold
final
on.
concepts for voting.
Hold
so the final
on.
voting should start
Hold
in the
on.
next
He
couple
just said
weeks
they
for you
did an
guys.
internal
Just be sure to
bracket. It
stay
just
tuned to
happened to
official
be
Smite
the
social
same
media,
gods.
SmiteGame.com. We'll have that voting
Okay.
up for you soon.
And last thing to mention as well,
Okay.
during this section, is Twitch Prime stuff.
Yes, Gladiator Thor is the current Twitch Prime bundle. Be sure to pick it up, get it for free
Okay.
with your Twitch Prime subscription. That bundle goes away on the 24th, so next Friday. So be sure to claim that.
And then, the next thing we've got to discuss is you've got a skin here for me. What's this skin
Yeah,
for?
the next Twitch Prime bundle
There's
skin-
another one?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's the last one actually in this promotion. It's for Hades, and it is Prince of Darkness Hades.
Let's have a little look then. And
Yeah.
always is vampire-esque
that
here.
card art is good. Wonder who that empty throne's for. It's probably nothing.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were doing a secret like, maybe this is the new god coming out after
I
that.
don't know.
Maybe that chair will be empty afterwards. Yeah, who would sell that with Hades?
I have no idea. I'll have to
Interesting.
catch up on my lore.
Let's have a listen to the voice pack for this skin.
Follow me! You will help me escort these gods to the underworld. Everyone falls under my rule. Eventually.
Why is he my speed buff right now?
Oh, surprise! Another son of Zeus! At this point, I'm not even shocked. That guy was probably a rabbit in his previous life.
And here's a little look at it in game 2 of the abilities. He's got a fear of a live action Hades.
Exactly.
That's what he's got
So
through
this
me.
is
He doesn't
actually
look
the
as
first skin
gigantic.
for Hades to where he's
Just
actually
like
human.
I don't know.
Normally he's
better.
like the evil, dark, or like the Ragnarok lava. This is the first skin for Hades where he's taken a human form.
And he's going to beat it up on the battlefield too.
Exactly. I love the effects too, how they're a little bit like black and dark. It's really cool.
It does look really good. And obviously, Odinbot's going to have a fun time getting feared because that's what happens with him there. But this skin is going to be part of the Twitch Prime bundle.
Yes, part of the Twitch Prime bundle that is available on May 24th.
Oh.
So you'll get this. I believe you get a loading screen, an announcer pack, all for free.
We're just giving it away. And then after the Hades one, we've got one other thing really quick to touch on with you. I know it's lots of skins this week, boys and girls, but hey, they're all pretty damn good in my opinion.
This one's awesome.
It's very rare that I'm the one that says that. Bastet, Luminous.
Yes,
Bastet, I believe.
Luminous Bastet. We've got an all-new chest coming to
Bro, where's
Smite
the
in the
Bastet
Neo
buff?
Olympia update called the Extraterrestrial Chest, and this skin will be available in it.
Yeah, definitely got an alien theme to this.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Those kitties do not look very much like kitties.
Right?
Well, let's see what Bastet's got to say in a voice pack.
Weird clothes, strange language. Who are these people?
I hate
Why
these
have they come
echoey
here?
voice packs, man. It's like the Osiris one.
Leave in peace or leave in pieces.
Avatar 2 exclusive to Smite.
Why are aliens messy tea drinkers? With flying saucers, it's hard not to spill it.
That model looks absolutely crazy. I'm a big fan of like the purple-blue color scheme.
I do like the little VGS bits we've going. We've got to get the laugh spam in though, Isaiah, because that's the most important thing. Chat cares about I'm the greatest, you rock cancel that, and the laugh spam. They're the most
don't forget
common
woohoo.
use. Of course woohoo.
Yeah, we'll have to work in woohoo soon.
Woohoo depends if the laugh's better, right? Whichever one's better, woohoo or laugh is one or the other. There's a little look at the pounce then of this new skin. And where's this going to be available?
So this is going to be available the second week of June, I believe. Yeah, don't hold me to that.
cool.
We'll have full information on when all of these skins are going to be available.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. You're supposed to know this, Isaiah.
So yeah, as soon as the patch notes go up on the website after the show, there'll be info on when all of these cool skins are available. And look at those cat creatures for the ultimate.
Yeah.
Super unique.
Definitely different to what we've seen before from the likes of Bastet, but still doing the same function.
How
which
about
is
we
quite
just
important.
fucking change Bastet alt?
Yeah, they definitely look a little bit.
And
You know what
don't
they
worry
remind me a
about the way it
little bit
looks.
of? I don't know why, but something from like Pitch Black or something like that. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
like one of those
yeah.
old films like that where you're like, okay, the terrible alien creatures they're going to try and rip your face apart. And that's it for the Luminous Bastet, and that's it from me and you, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, over to Ryan we go for the last of the skins, which I don't know how many's left, but let's go, Ryan. Keep
What, is
going.
there like fucking 8 left?
More to come. Thanks, Hindu and Isaiah. Talk about these skins. We've got Tina still here, but we've got Chris and Chris. And we've got Chris M and Chris L. And I'll be honest, guys, I don't know I don't know which one is which. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna keep it as Chris and Chris. I think that's the way we should do it. And I want to get right into this one because this is one that I've been excited about since it was teased the other day. Touchdown Vimana. I had the pleasure of meeting Kelvin Benjamin, who's a huge Smite fan. He came to HRX and all that kind of stuff. He came and did an interview with us here at the Skillshot Studios. And he was telling me he loves Vimana. And I love that we were able to incorporate, you know, a celebrity Smite fan. But also, I mean, it's a natural fit, right?
It is.
It's a natural fit for Vimana.
Sure.
Let's take a listen to the voice pack here first.
Bro.
Hey, don't worry. I got the big money plays. Trust me.
He looks fucking sick. He looks so small.
I'm gonna tackle you so hard, you're gonna be crying big boy tears.
I like the voice back.
What kind of tea do football players drink? Penalty. You kidding? I know, because I'm so funny.
Yeah, that's a good one. There, touchdown Vimana.
Oh shit!
Dude, that animation is sweet.
Holy fuck!
He's stiff arming his way through the team fight.
Is that turf,
Look at the
though?
ground.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Why does he have an
That's like a
umbrella
football
though?
field.
Man, that
one
is
is
so
sick.
awesome. I love that. That was the big thing, a completely new one. And that, I mean, as we said, it's kind of a natural fit, but to put that football sort of spin on it, I imagine was a big deal for the art team as well.
Yeah, it was super important that we make it fit him as a character.
Oh,
but
there
also
we go. That's what I wanted to see.
Fits really well. That football throwing
That's
is
sick.
awesome.
Dude, he's got a clean spiral,
That's
by the way.
fucking sick, dude.
My man can whip it. For sure. That's a great throw.
I want you to know he's bigger in real life. Like Kevin is bigger than Vimana in real life.
Yeah,
Oh,
quite
yeah,
a bit.
Kelvin
He's like Colossal Fury Vimana size.
I have to like look. He's like a whole head and a half taller than me.
This is
Like,
Kelvin
that is
Benjamin
Kelvin.
size.
Yeah, that is Kelvin right
This
there.
is him. Sporting Kelvin's number as well, the number 13. It's just so sweet. Tina, it says here that he helped write this voice pack as well?
Yeah. So we sat in a room together, and Coven and Bree, his wife, like we just went over it, and he read my lines. And the thing is, like, I'm not American, so I don't know much about football, and he helped like explain a lot of things, and then like added his own little flair to the skin and the voice. So
that's
very
great. Cool.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
Very cool. Let's take a look at the VXG. I think we do have one of those.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay, that's pretty dope.
That is really good.
This is sick.
Dude, that is sweet.
A good job
Kelvin Benjamin, of course, a wide receiver in the NFL and had a very storied college career, which many people around here in the SEC world of college football are either very happy about or still very salty about. A big catch for him in a big game. But hey, you got to live with it now, and you're going to be seeing it in all your Smite games with touchdown Vimana. Amazing. I absolutely love it. All right, here's the other one that I've been very excited about. Have I said that enough yet, this update show?
Poseidon. Yeah, this is so good.
Freedom Overload Poseidon.
Oh my god, yes.
Bro, is a giant fucking eagle about to fly up out of the ground?
Where do I put all of it? I'm holding all of it. There's nowhere to put it all.
Some fucking
it really does. Let's take a look at it in game before we get a look at the abilities.
I want you to join my team, Team America. Even you have a chance at the American dream.
Why does he look like Abe Lincoln? Hello?
I'll tell you what I told that art lady. The primary colors are red, white, and blue.
I like how he's shouting at me.
So exhausting. Oh man, we're really getting started right off the bat with that Kraken.
And it has a different pose like every time.
Yeah, randomizes the poses.
It's like three different poses.
Watch. See?
Oh my god.
See?
Oh, that is.
There's 4 poses for that shit. What the fuck?
I love it. Oh man, that fighter jet.
Yeah, dude.
Is sweet. Does that also? Yeah, it's got like a little curve to it as it flies.
Yeah.
And that's for the player only. The takeoff at the end, right?
No.
Oh, really?
Oh, anyone can see that. Oh, shit.
That's sweet.
This skin is fucking awesome.
I guess you went through the first section, Tina. So you.
You're right. I'm just really excited.
Yeah.
All right, this skin is sick as fuck.
I'm overwhelmed with
the instructions were to just make it over the top.
Yeah.
So
this is over the top.
Well, I think you got. I mean, I don't know.
Fighter jet.
I mean, it's like.
What is he really 2? Like? Bald Eagle Man coming out of the hill.
Too much freedom.
I love how the body of the chicken is like a man body.
That's a bald eagle.
And then
Yeah. You are an American. It's true.
That's
but the head is like total chicken.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should be like
we just went over
aroused
this.
or if I should be not aroused. I don't know. It's
Let's
really
do neither.
weird.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you anything.
But he's
it's your choice.
He looks so good.
It looks amazing. Over the top certainly worked out for the art team there, I would say, on that one. Okay, we've got some Battle for Olympus reminders before we go into these next few skins, because those last few. All right. Let me get the clarification there. That is the Independence chest that those last 2 skins will be a part of, both Touchdown Vimana and Freedom Poseidon, whatever it was, Freedom Overload. You know what I mean. Now these next few are going to be part of Battle for Olympus. So some reminders that if you want to get that Tier 5 Winds of Kukulkan, Winds of Change Kukulkan, thank you. You have to get everything that's in the Battle for Olympus, but don't worry. All the skins from that will remain available for direct purchase after the event is over. So you will get 18 permanent direct purchase skins added to Smite over the course of this event. So those will stay for a long time, but if you want to get that Tier 5 Kukulkan skin, jump on them as they're coming out. That's my advice to you. All right, let's get into it then for Cove Queen Noir.
My favorite.
This one's your favorite, Tina?
One of my favorite. No, actually, it's my second favorite one.
Have we already seen your favorite one?
Not yet.
Not yet. Great tease, Tina. You're doing a great job. Let's look at Cove Queen Noir in game.
The Bacchus skin is her favorite. Didn't know.
Let us guide you through the currents. I will not let you terrorize the citizens of Atlantis. Where do mermaids see movies? At the dive-in.
Oh. Okay.
That's
She
where they
looks
go.
so good.
Yeah, this is
cool.
It's amazing.
Amazing. It fits really well too. I don't know, the watery themes kind of fit with Nuwa. Yeah, this
That's
little
dope.
water
All
looks
right,
great.
I like
She used to be a
it.
snack herself, so.
It's true. It's true. It kind of easy.
Throwback.
Yeah, exactly. For her to go back.
I think
to
at
the
one
tail.
point we wanted to use her old model for the tail,
Well,
but I
we were
don't think
thinking
we
about the
ended
old
up
rig.
doing that, right?
Yeah, it's a new rig.
Okay.
Completely new one here for Nuwa. I mean, Medusa has a mermaid skin. Wait, they're actually mounted.
Yeah.
Little mounted fish.
The Fishins.
The Fishins. That's perfect. That's.
I think I called them fish guards.
Look at them go.
Fishins is better.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, fish guard is good too. It's a more official, but I mean, fish.
She's a princess. She needs fish guards.
Yeah.
The ult is good.
course.
Or not the ult, sorry.
The water
nothing
splash
special.
sound effects always on point.
Pretty okay.
They also
And then she
actually
kills
die
them.
now.
Oh
Instead
no.
of like crumbling and.
Yeah.
She murders her
Whoa!
royal guard. Wait, that was sweet.
Yeah,
Look at
she
that
turns
again.
the
like a
water.
bubble.
Sacrificial lambs, really.
Wow, the fish are just expendable. It's Cove Queen Nuwa, a tyrant. What is this?
No. She's a princess, but she, they just die for her.
It's after she shoots them, you know.
So now I'm gonna feel guilty building CDR on Cove Queen Nuwa because I'm just killing more of my loyal servants. I love it. Okay, Howler Demon Hunbats. Next up
There
on the
we
list
go.
here.
Please be good. Please
this
be
one,
good.
I mean, I
Please
know
be
people have
good.
been very, very excited. Man, that minion is really terrifying.
I know, right?
Running away. I mean,
He's
my
even
man.
snotting out of
Can
his
someone
nose.
get this guy a tissue? I mean, I feel bad for him. The people have been very excited about a new Hunbat skin. It's been a long time since he's had one, so this new direction is something that I'm excited for. Let's take a listen to the voice pack here for Howler Demon Hunbats.
Say too many assassins? Smell my balls.
Things, and I do them very well. Should I give you a demonstration? Why aren't I going to have some fun with you? Your mother was so ugly, they expelled her from the heavens and said, "Be gone, demon!"
Dang, really?
Why is he
Yep.
like, it was just Mother's Day.
Sorry.
It's kind of rude. I mean, this direction for Hunbats is very different than anything else that he's had. I mean, as we mentioned, it's been a bit since his last Hunbat skin. For you guys on the art side, what were kind of your first reactions or thoughts when designing this one?
Take it, Mr. Demon
One,
Lover.
Chris.
Demon lover? What? Okay. Well,
Wow.
go, dude. What's up?
Yeah, basically we were just going for a demonic look to him, which was a little different than what he had before. And it has been a few years. He's old enough that
I don't know that I like
in
this
the database and things we look
more
up.
than the
He's
other
still
one.
called Sun Wukong in places. He's called Monkey in places.
Yeah.
Monkey.
None of his abilities are named properly. He was actually a mess to work on, honestly.
I think that's why we don't do skins for him anymore.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully now that we're back on the right track for Hunbat skins, it'll be that much more streamlined for the next one. Definitely a different sort of theme and one that looks sweet. I mean, the
You can never go
flaming
wrong with
monkey
demons.
you toss at someone is
Yeah.
I really don't think I like this all that much.
very cool. The new sound
Dude,
effect on
that's
Fear No
really
Evil.
cool.
Yeah.
The ult is really, really nice.
Fear No
Not
Evil, yeah.
really.
The
Like, it's
pinnacle.
not bad, but it's
I'm
just
I'm
not
digging it.
good. And
I'm
the
also
other
gonna
skins
dig
aren't
this
even
next one,
good,
I
but they're
think.
better.
Unichrome set.
Yeah, please be
We
good.
teased this one in the last update show,
Please
I
be
believe,
good.
because again, this
Please.
is
That
part
is
of
so shitty to run around
this,
looking like a Anubis,
Battle
man.
for Olympus event. And when I got my first chance to see it in game, I got that much more excited for it. So let's let you guys see it in game first, and then we can go through the abilities.
Let's paint this town rainbow. Who's with me? Did you just call me pony? I'm a damn horse. Look at my stature. Just because I'm a unicorn doesn't mean I'm wearing a uniform. This is my neon suit, okay?
What?
I like to think of Set Unicron.
Oh, I
Set
like this skin.
as
So much
a
better than the
really
base level
angry,
already.
Cool,
So
badass
much
villain
better, dude.
Who just happens to really like
I
Rainbow.
like the skin.
That seems pleasing.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like this skin so much more. Holy
I
fuck.
didn't want to make him really high pitched.
Thank God.
It just didn't suit him.
Sure.
So he became this like gruff badass instead.
And he just happens to like he happens to have a horn on his head and be a unicorn. And he happens to like rainbows. If you got a problem with that, you can come say it to his face.
Oh, thank God.
Into his rainbows,
All right,
so
Set. I want to play Set again
too,
on this patch.
I dig this.
And I mean, look at his rainbow clones.
So cool. I mean, I'm still just not over how cool Set is in moments where his clones are all over the place and that kind of stuff, and using skewer. Yeah, I'm about that.
I will say the clones are a lot easier to see on this skin too.
Yeah, they're not made of sand this time around. They're made of rainbow
magic.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look at his skins. Look at his skins.
It's
That
cute.
is so amazing. Who
And
did that? Who did that?
It's Kyle.
Kyle,
yeah.
Shout outs to Kyle. Again, I imagine Set is a very angry man who just happens to really like cats. You know, and this is like, he thinks that's really cute,
Oh my
and he'll kill you if you think otherwise.
We have a whole cat theme this patch.
Looks amazing. And the good news for you guys at home is a Unichrome set free as long as you unlock everything in the Usurper chest. So
Yeah.
good news for those of you at home. You get a bonus sweet skin here in a Unichrome set, and you get a cute cat.
It's free if you have the chest. Is that what you just said?
Dank.
Dang.
How's that free?
Yeah, I
a
guess
bonus.
they could say that in this situation. Thank you, Chris.
Free and bonus are not the same
King
thing.
Arthur.
God damn it.
Next up on the list, King Arthur.
You are rewarded for
the
spending
Deathbringer
money.
skin, which was available through Twitch Prime. Hopefully you guys got that. Was really, really sweet. But this one is just like a whole new level. First of all, this card art is
great.
nuts. This is just like, I'm all about this card art for some reason. It's simple, but it's epic.
The Olympians were making fun of it because of it's like the meme. Like
Oh,
presenting
yeah.
the sword.
That's right. Oh yeah, we can even meme with it. God,
Yes.
it does everything.
Yes.
Let's take a listen, or take a look, take a listen at Pendragon King
Don't know
Arthur
the
in
meme.
game.
A knight such as myself is always looking for more work. What do you have in mind? Pull out your sword. This match needs to be
Bro, that
somewhat
weapon is straight out of World of Warcraft. His sword is straight out of
Have
fucking
you
World of
seen
Warcraft,
some
bro.
of his gods? At least I don't have a head of an ass.
Literally straight out of World of Warcraft.
That's not very nice.
It's too soon. He just released.
That's not very nice at all. Set can't control what kind of head he has. Where's the acceptance? And keep an eye on that sword. Even it looks great right now, but as he continues to get energy, it'll start to glow when he has his first ult available to him, like he does right now. And then whenever he reaches big ult status over 80 energy, there it is, glowing nice and gold. Also, look at the back, like whatever those are.
That's awesome.
The floaty bits.
Yeah, sure. Those also will represent his energy on the skin. So
It's
kind
wicked
of
sick.
an extension of the sword. This is just Merlin's all about like dragons and stuff. He's got like the dragon fire and whatnot as his ability. This is like now they're best friends.
Pendragon
Yeah.
is Arthur's thing, right? Arthur Pendragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So then we're like, okay, well, Pendragons are actually red dragons, but since we already have a red dragon skin, why don't we make a
Fucking
white dragon
was season
with like
4 of World
red,
of Warcraft, bro.
red
It wasn't the same colors, but it's the same exact fucking
skin
model.
stuff,
Okay.
scales. So that's what we did.
And it turned out great.
Yeah.
It just started
I love
playing
it.
well.
Definitely shout out to I Love Tails.
I like the skin though, like the base
I
skin.
love Tails.
It's gonna be all about this skin, I'm sure.
I know.
This does remind me a lot of World of Warcraft.
And the
status,
other one
which
that we haven't
I kind
announced
of
yet.
like.
Is it really hard to add tails to
It
skins?
is. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of secondary work. The rig has to have bones to support it.
Yeah.
I did just get word in my ear that, by the way, that I Love Tails has already.
I am pretty hyped to play Classic WoW again. Get to play with all the bros.
We did it. We got there. Here for Pendragon King Arthur. Okay, this one, I've got a feeling that Tina, your favorite, is about to happen.
Oh
It's
my
good.
God.
Oh, yeah.
Sashimi.
I have literally
Nico,
never seen that meme.
Bacchus.
He's a chonker.
What happened? Like, how did this happen? That's my question. Like,
It
what
was like
went on?
combination of AJ and it was team effort, yeah. A combination
but-
of AJ and I just always wanted a cat in the game that's really, really chonky because I really like chonky animals. And so we were coming up with Bacchus skins, and I'm like, what if we make a fat cat? And then everyone's like, I don't know how well that'll do. And I'm like, can we just try see concepts? And so they came up with awesome concepts, and this came out.
And here we are.
I think specifically one of your drawings influenced the direction
Oh yeah,
heavily.
I'll post that on Twitter later. I actually drew like what I imagine in my little brain, big brain, what it would look like.
Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Galaxy brain.
Yeah, we'll let Tina rest her big brain for a second. 'Cause we've got a chance to look at this in game and listen to the voice back.
My quest is to find the biggest, tastiest, most legendary fish in all the lands, and then eat it.
Oh my god.
I will not hesitate to slap you with my tuna. The world can't be flat. If it were, not only would all the fish fall off, but cats like me would push everything else off it too.
There you go.
Flat Earthers resigned.
Oh, fucking shit, dude.
Checkmate, Flat Earthers.
They need to change the ability icons, but this skin is dope.
First of all, I do have to ask, can you explain to me the difference between chonky and chunky?
Chunky
for
is
cats.
like tuna. Like there's chunky tuna. Yum.
Okay.
Chonky is like fat.
Okay. So basically,
chill out, please.
If I'm eating it, it's chunky.
Yeah,
if I'm not eating it, it's chonky.
Yes.
Okay. There
Exactly.
We go. I'm glad I'm on the same page now. What is he knocking up here with the? There's like some like mud effects. I guess because he's in the water a lot, fishing for tuna.
Fish guts, I
Yeah,
guess.
there's
I don't
fish
know.
bones in his burp and stuff.
Oh
yeah. No. Look at his burp. It's like there's fish burping out.
Oh yeah.
But he just said fish
he ate a
bones.
lot.
Yeah, he ate a lot of
That's a
Because
lot.
he's chonky.
He's not going to be chonky anymore if he keeps
You don't
doing
get
that.
chunky
know.
by
Mess
by
around,
not
dude.
eating a lot of
Well, he's
fish.
maintaining at this point, right? He's gotten there.
This is his prime body.
Yeah. This is what this is. You may not like it, but this is what a chonky cat looks like. Get used to it. The fish as the weapon, very different than the static,
It flops
meat.
around.
Yeah, it's floppy.
Like really.
Truly.
And when you hit someone, it's like.
Yeah, we had to fight for that fish, but all I wanted for this skin was to be able to run around and hit people with a fish. And we finally got it.
Seems like we got it.
And he got a tail too, by the way, which is like he was talking about was really hard to. We weren't
yeah.
sure if we were gonna give him a stubs, like a little stubby stub, or if we're just gonna go on full tail. But we decided full tail.
There he is in all his chonky glory. I love it. That is
I hate
sashimi
them
Nico
saying
Bacchus.
chonky
Okay.
over and over
Next
again.
up, we have
I hate it.
Seraph Horace. This
Okay,
is one,
badass.
This is absolutely epic. This is when you get all 6 skins from Chapter 2 of
Rightful air chest.
Battle for Olympus. Yeah, the rightful air chest. You unlock this exclusive Seraph Horace skin. I love skins like this. I mean, like the overwhelming splendor, that kind of stuff. This is only a preview. We only have the card art here for you today, but I can't wait to get a chance to see this one in game. Tina, I mean, I think it looks great.
Oh yeah, it is phenomenal, dude. So this guy. Oh man, there are quite a few concepts with this one. Oh,
AJ's here.
Holy.
Hey, what's up, AJ? Oh,
Magic.
we traded 2, so it confirmed 2 Chris's equals 1 AJ. I guess is the math that I just worked out over there, because that's what we traded out. But AJ, you're not here to talk so much about Seraph Horace, are you? We've got some different stuff to talk about.
No, we're here to talk about the final reward for the Battle for Olympus, the Winds of Change Kukulkan.
Tier 5.
Which Tina and I have been working on, the design and the background, the story, the theming, the voice acting, the casting, the matters of changing that he will do, all of those things, and working closely with the art team to kind of bring it all together. So we're really excited. We're going to show off very clear images of what he looks like, because we showed a really cool teaser image.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of mystery, I would say, in it. That was probably the reaction I got. People were like, this looks cool, but what exactly am I seeing?
Well, you're about to find out.
So now we're going to give you guys a clear look at that.
Well, it's time to find out then. So let's take a look at the 3 forms, and we're going to go more in-depth on each of these 3 forms in just a moment. But it's Celestial,
Holy
Life,
shit.
and Void. So I'm guessing it would be, in order here, it'd be Void, Celestial, Life.
Correct. So
these are
in the
actually
scope
dope.
of this skin, Kukulkan
Yeah, give
has
it
a
a leg,
revelation
bro.
as a god, and kind of ascends he learns about the cosmos and the infinite truths of our universe, and that things are always being created and destroyed, and life is trapped in the middle, and that he kind of learns more about what it means to be a god. And that's kind of how we arrived at this skin. Gods are often on Earth.
I want to see it in game, but they're not going to show it to us forever.
Fire.
We're not going to see it for months.
What does it mean to be a god of true creation and destruction? You know, planets
his abilities
coming
look
into
so
arrival in the
fucking
universe
cool
and then being destroyed through black holes.
Man, I mean, Bacchus just confirmed to me that the world wasn't flat, AJ. I can't have all of this at the same moment.
Unfortunately, Neil deGrasse Tyson declined coming on this show with me today, but he supports these theories.
All right, well, let's take a look at Celestial first then as the first form here. Again, reminder that this Kukulkan skin is the final reward for the Battle of Olympus event, so make sure you guys are staying up to date on that.
Giving him legs
so Celestial
would be fucking badass.
is like the positive end of godhood, right?
Right. So this is the optimism, the creation, the beginning. This character doesn't seek to control others. He just understands. It shows part of Kukulkan's understanding that things get set in motion and things have their own choices, and you create stories for them to tell themselves. People are in control of their own destinies, right?
So where would you rank him in like the Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
No, seriously.
Yeah, the celestial form is more of the lawful good.
Okay.
He's generally a good guy, maybe lawful neutral, depending on this like kind of stark optimism. Could even come off as like a little bit naive, right now. Because that's what you can often think of people who are so optimistic, like that. Even when things are going, maybe I wouldn't necessarily say innocent, but he even when things are looking their bleakest.
Okay.
Celestial Kukulkan thinks things will probably work out.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I need him on my side.
Yeah, seriously.
Or on
a
my
little bit of optimism would go a long way. All right, how about the life form here, I suppose?
The life form is our chaotic neutral.
Okay.
Life is all about struggle, right? Life is not something that's easy. It's like for beings and organisms to live on these planets, they had to survive crazy conditions, dinosaurs, meteor strikes, global warming, etc. But life is the thing that life represents, and often nature in lots of popular culture books is persistence, right? Like the beautiful photo of a tree growing through the cracks in the concrete, right?
Okay.
Life finds a way.
Rebirth.
It's a meme template. What?
Right.
Finds a way.
So this Kukulkan is more passionate and emotional, and focuses on its tenacity and its persistence as his positive traits.
Okay, and that leaves the void form. This
one, the abilities have so much potential.
Maybe not so nice, I would say. Maybe not
this
evil
skin
either,
is
but
probably
just
gonna fuck. It's gotta be sick. The skin, this part of the skin has to be super crazy.
Right.
In a way.
Pessimistic, nihilistic, not necessarily mean, but could come off that way.
Sure.
Things are meaningless because in the end, we all return to the void.
The new Hades skin looks like he would get along very well
with this guy, right?
With this guy, yeah. Like
no, but Hades still heavily relies on life and death. This is beyond that. This is nothingness.
Oh, so he's like
this is
Dr. Manhattan.
Sure. I'm not super familiar with that character, but
yeah, me neither.
He just doesn't. He's just like so beyond it that he doesn't. It's like life is like so minuscule.
Exactly.
Okay.
So more importantly than their personalities and their themes is their visuals, and that's what we wanted to show today. So that original teaser image that we released, that showed the helmet, the head of each of the three forms, and here we're showing the whole bodies.
Okay.
And one of the really cool things about Kukulkan as a floating god with a lot of movement to him, we have a lot of flexibility on how we can change his silhouette and his structure.
Yeah. Okay.
So really for this tier 5, we tried to push the absolute boundaries of changing a god's silhouette and core form. So all of those gods, they're going to be flying, they're going to be floating, they'll have a lot of movement.
To be honest, a lot of the tier 5s
over
time are pretty
we almost
shit.
gave some extra
so I hope
limbs
this one is sick.
to the celestial form.
They have to do. They have to go bigger.
The void form is missing
like
some
noodle.
and almost trails off into energy.
Oh, cool.
So like, I'm really excited to see how they're gonna look in 3D.
And the nature form doesn't really have a dragon head. It has like more of a horse head.
This is lots of different creatures you can see in its design.
Influence.
Some bird-like, some
and
mammal,
deer,
reptile.
like antlers.
Can you give us any sort of hint? Because I'm really curious about how these forms will be changing. Are we ready to talk about that at all, or is that something we're still keeping under wraps for now?
I think so.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. I'm not sure if we wanted to talk about that in a separate section.
Yeah, we can hold
we're
it
still
off.
discussing it, really, is what I would say. But more thematically speaking, we're going to be going in order.
Okay.
So you'll most likely start as Celestial, then move to Life, and then on to Void.
Okay. Everyone would have guessed that.
But this one doesn't necessarily have an upgrade feel, or like it doesn't feel so linear. It's cyclical. So we want him to be able to kind of rotate through the forms more. So we'll be using that, and we'll be using a lot of that kind of space-time continuum, cosmos language. Like we'll be using that as inspiration for his ultimate and for his transformations.
So have we decided? Let's say I want to always stay in nature form because I like horses. Can I stay in that form?
I don't want to go into all the details.
Just said he hasn't decided yet. God damn it!
Tech worked on areas where you could manually change, and we're looking into ways to improve it or utilize it in a similar way on this skin. But it's still work
up for debate. Okay.
Cool. Awesome, man. The skin looks great again. Battle for Olympus. Make sure you're caught up all on that because that is the tier 5 reward. Winds of Change.
Is that the last skin?
Cool,
I bet it has to
Tina,
be.
AJ, thanks so much for joining us.
What a show, huh?
Yeah, big one. Big one. Make sure you're staying tuned to Smite Game on Twitter for PTS and all that kind of stuff. Also for release dates of all of these skins. Into the end of the shit. For those of you who are excited to watch Esports Weekly, which should be all of you theoretically, that'll be starting in just a little bit. Probably 4:30 is when we're aiming to start that on Mixer.com/Smite.
I'm not watching that shit. All right, stream. Just wanted to watch the patch notes. I'll be back at 7:30, pretty early tonight. I don't have scrims obviously because we're fucking watching this shit. So this will go up on YouTube. Big changes were. Lots of healers got buffs. Afro got pretty decent buffs, to be honest. And then fuck ton of skins. A fuck ton of skins. All right, stream. I will see you 7:30. Better fucking be there or I'll be sad.